Straight like that, man. Y'all know the vibes. Welcome to another episode of the Ultimate 216 Show. If you woke up this morning, you already won. I hope you are doing something right now that your future self will thank you for. I am Earl of Pearl. Look who's back. Cecil Shorts is back in the building. This man been gone for like a month and a half. Tyvus asked last week, what Cecil do? Quit the show? I said, Cecil got more jobs than you, bro.
Got kids, man. Kids, like, and then you know how it is. You just talked about it. You got kids going to private school, kids going to college, and it's just a lot going on. I got 7 of them things, so gotta keep the money flowing. So we finally found a time, and we'll be good.
Well, the fan base has missed you, man. I've been seeing what you've been doing in the coaching ranks, man, with those young men. I think that's dope. And of course, like I tell you all the time, like you like the Ahmad for the Houston Texans down there, man. We be peeping what you doing. So shout out to what you got going on. We got a stacked show for y'all, man. We're gonna go around the town again later on in the show. We're gonna play another game of fair foul. And of course, Kevin Stefanski spoke to the media earlier today. We'll react to what some of he had to say. All right, bro, it's been a minute, man. So before we get into what Kevin Stefanski said today during this press conference, I'm curious your thoughts of what you have seen from the Cleveland Browns as they go into week 7 of this NFL season against the Miami Dolphins. The offense is historically bad. We are averaging 13.7 points per game. The NFL average coming into this week 6. I'm sorry. I don't even know why I keep trying to push this to week 7, but the NFL average coming into this week is 23.7 points a game. The Cleveland Browns are well below that. Last week, it got even worse. We couldn't even put double digits on the board. Just from your thoughts, your perspective, how has this Cleveland Browns season gone? Do you think Kevin Stefanski should be on a hot seat? What's just your overall thoughts of the offense, et cetera?
Kevin's definitely on the hot seat. And I like Kevin. I think he's a good person. I watched an interview today, the press conference. It seemed like he's full of like integrity, and he's like a guy that does the right thing. And it's just he's not executing, and it's not coming to fruition. Like it's not, the offense is not looking how you want it to look. Now, with that being said, you don't have much weapon. Like you don't have many weapons at the offensive position besides Junkins. Right. Besides
Right.
Sampson and Junkins, you don't really have many weapons. The receiver position is piss poor. It's bad. Judy is proving every single week he is not the guy. He can be a 3 and a 2, possibly. He is not a 1. There is no way around it. He is just not a number one receiver. Too many drops, too many opportunities that he's letting slip by. I love what I'm seeing from all the rookies, if I'm being honest. I think all of them are showing out. That's credit to Andrew Berry and staff. The scouting department is doing a really good job. Quinn Sean's looking amazing. Fannin is looking outstanding. Possibly can be really, really special, right? But you have missed on a chance to get a primetime receiver. You have missed on the chance to update that offensive line. And that is what's hurting your quarterback position. I also think that trade within a division is silly, and I don't care what you go. You don't do that. That's something you do not do. It's an unwritten rule. And that's why Mike Tomlin came out, Earl. He came out and said names. He came out and said he must be Andrew Berry, must be smarter than me, and staff must be smarter than me or whatever, because you just don't do that. That's an unwritten rule. You don't help somebody else in need of a specific position group, especially when you had this a day one starter. That makes you look dumb. You thought enough of him to start day one and to put you in position to win, and then you end up trading him 3, 4, or 5 weeks later. It looks crazy.
It's funny, man. It's funny you bring that up because up until Jimmy Haslam became the owner of the Cleveland Browns, the Browns had never made an in-division trade with anybody. And I can't remember the details of the trade, but the first trade was actually made with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I want to say it was like on draft day or something like that. And then this trade here with the Cincinnati Bengals was the first ever between both franchises, which is funny because we still remember the failed trade attempt by Hugh Jackson with the Cincinnati Bengals back when Sashi Brown was the GM here. So to your point, things like that don't really happen often. I know this rookie class has gotten a lot of praise, and I kind of thought about this last week, and I think that we need to kind of just take it week by week and then wait to assess the overall class at the end of the season. Because if you really want to keep it a buck, Quinshon Judkins been balling. Harold Fannin been balling. Carson Schlesinger been balling. But I've seen Graham low-key neutralized the last 2 weeks. Dylan Sampson ain't really had much of an impact. Dylan Gabriel through 2 starts don't really look like he got much as far as being a quality starting quarterback. And we've yet to see Shedeur Sanders. And so if you take away all his draft picks from this year, and I know people saying already Andrew Berry didn't hit on this draft class, I would say, man, kind of pump the brakes to that and just let the season play out. Quinshon Judkins, I can give a green check to that. Harold Fannin, I can give a green check to that. I believe I can give a green check to Carson Schlesinger as well. But Mason Graham, I'm not going to say he's been bad, but I think PFF got him ranked in the bottom tier out of 100 and plus defensive tackles through his first 6 games of his NFL career. We see him make some plays in that Baltimore game, but to me, it seems like offensive coaches have done a good job of neutralizing him. And we all know when you take a defensive tackle that high, that dude got to be damn near like unstoppable. He got to be dominant, and you can't just be okay, and you can't just be solid or pretty good when you play that position being drafted that high.
I tell you what, as far as Dylan Sampson, I don't think they use him enough. Like week 1, he looked really good. Like he can be a playmaker, he can do some things, and then for whatever the reason, and I get Quinshon coming back, but why wouldn't you use him still in some type of way more often, giving him more touches? Because he played really well when he does get touches, in my opinion. I'm with you with Mason Graham. I think that's a fair assessment. I do. I think when you draft a guy number 5 overall, and the first person that comes to mind, like a D tackle drafted number 5, was a guy I played with, Gerald McCoy. Like you expect that type of dominance from a guy drafted that high in the draft, right? And just right away, you haven't seen it consistently. You haven't seen it, right? And I don't know all the ins and outs of what he's asked to do every single down, but you're right. There are times where he's neutralized. There are times he's not making plays or being pushed back or just not where he's supposed to be at, it seems. And then as far as the quarterback position, it's interesting because part of me is like, okay, this is what we expected from Dylan Gabriel. Like we know he couldn't. I mean, if you watch him in college, he was dink and dunk. He was not passing the ball extremely far down the field. It was more scheme than getting him open than him actually throwing people open. But at the same time, it's like, is Kevin really calling anything that's going to help Dylan get anything going at the same time? And then even going back to Kevin, you have the rookie quarterback going against the Pittsburgh Steelers throwing 56 times.
Yeah.
Game in his second start, his first start in the United States. Like, I'm just like, that's a lot for any quarterback, let alone a rookie quarterback in Pittsburgh in his first ever start, or his second ever start. That's mind-boggling to me. And I'm not sure what the mindset was, and I get it. Like, they are stout that particular game with the run, but she only tried with Junkins, 12 carries? I think he had 13 carries.
He had 12 carries for 36 yards, 3 yards carry average. You just said something about Dylan Gabriel that struck a nerve, though. You said, a lot of what his success was in college was dink and dunk, and it was more so scheme. But that's what makes this situation with Kevin Stefanski even more frustrating to me. I did a little 5-minute video last week after we did our Cleveland Browns postgame show. Shout out to Sweet Pork Wilson's, by the way, who hosted us. And I was just speaking to the fact that, man, you really had your quarterback drop back and throw the ball 52 times. So, shout out to him for not turning the ball over, even though, 4 or 5 of those passes, if those defenders for the Steelers had some hands, he would have walked away with 3 or 4 turnovers on his resume, but he didn't, so I can't hold that against him. This is what's frustrating. By all accounts, Dylan Gabriel was Kevin Stefanski's guy. He talked about how intelligent he was, how quick he was at processing and learning the system, etc. But I think Kevin Stefanski failed to realize that didn't hide his deficiencies or his flaws, or 2, your scheme wasn't good enough to do so. Because I pointed to the fact that he played 65 games at the collegiate level. He left there with the highest completion percentage you've ever seen. Then you look at the fact that, he throws for all those yards, throw for all those touchdowns. And you mean to tell me that you knew he was short? He been short since been short. And your scheme can't even get him to the point to where he can at least produce even at the same level he was when he played at college. That's more of an indictment against Kevin Stefanski than it is against Dylan Gabriel. And then you run your quarterback out there and you don't even give him a little bit of a running game. The Steelers came into that game, I think, giving up like close to 130 yards a game rushing, right? Mike Tomlin, and he's smart like this. He spoke to how he believed, like, Quinshon Judkins was a complete back. A lot of the people I talked to, Jeff Hathorn, for example, who works for 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh, talked about that the game plan was going to be able to try to slow down Quinshon. Kevin Stefanski just stopped running the football. Like, even if the run wasn't working, from playing this game, you got to at least present the threat of being able to run the football. Because if you don't, the defense is going to adjust. And you watch the game, I mean, they were sitting in zone coverage, just like they wasn't even really blitzing him. And when they was blitzing him, for the love of God, I didn't know if Jalen Ramsey was a defensive end or a corner in that game. Like, it was crazy how creative they were being. I just feel like Kevin Stefanski has done a horrible job putting Dylan Gabriel in a position to have a little bit of success.
Well, the thing about the run game, and you hit it, Earl, run game does not look like it's going to, like, all run games look different. So, like, in a particular game, right, you're not going to get, some games you're going to get 6-7 yards a pop. You're killing them. Most of the time, though, it's going to be 3 yards here, 2 yards here, 5 yards here, 2 yards here, 20 yards, right? 6 yards here, 1 yard here, 1, 0, 3, 20 yards. Now, you got to, especially with good backs, you got to stick with it. Because you have to trust your back is eventually going to find the lane. You got to trust your back is eventually going to figure it out and be the professional that he is. And once he does pop that long run, that tells the defense, oh, let me make sure we get back to our P's and Q's. Now they're loading the box up even more, or focus on that more. Then opens up the pass game, opens up play action down the field, right? And when you get away from that and don't give your back and your offensive line a chance, you're putting your quarterback at a disadvantage. You're really putting, when 52 times, Earl, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and especially for a rookie quarterback. You just don't do that to him, especially against a quality defense like the Pittsburgh Steelers are. And I don't even care about the numbers. It's just who they have on their team, the experience they have, the head coach they have. They did a fabulous job making the Browns one-dimensional, and Kevin got scared. Like, he literally got scared and said, you know what? I'm going to put the ball in Dylan Gabriel's hands and try to get him to help you win the game. And that doesn't even make sense because you don't have the playmakers outside to do it. That's just what it is.
That's what it is, man. Y'all let us know what y'all think. Is Kevin Stefanski coaching for his job this week against the Miami Dolphins? Coming up next, man, we're going to play a little fair or foul. But first, a couple things we got to let you know. Number one, subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show's YouTube page. You can use that QR code right there, man, to subscribe. Make sure you like so that you can stay in the know with this spinoff show and the rest of the spinoff shows that's going to be coming at you, like the Ultimate Cavs show, the Ultimate Browns, even Tyvus and Dustin Fox are back doing the Ultimate Buckeye show. So again, use that QR code right there to subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Also, this segment is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5. If it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Whether you're a casual fan or love diving into the stats, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Shout out to FanDuel. So we introduced a new segment last week, man, called Fair Foul. And what we do is we find like 4 hot button questions to ask, whether it's about the Guardians, the Browns, or the Cleveland Cavaliers, or even the Ohio State Buckeyes. We rotate in and out, and we ask you, the audience, and we ask each other whether these questions are fair or foul. We got 4 today, and it's a mixed bag, bro. We got 2 for the Cleveland Browns and 2 for the Cleveland Cavaliers, as the Cavaliers wrapped up their preseason play yesterday. The NBA season is on the way, so we're going to ask some questions about the team overall and one Evan Mobley. I'm up first for you.
Okay.
Fair or foul? Here we go. Kevin Stefanski, 23-23 in the AFC. That's his record since he's been the head coach here in Cleveland since 2020. But, and I ain't noticed until today, he is 0-6 against the AFC East. The Browns come into tomorrow's game, into Sunday's game, according to FanDuel, 3-point favorites. Cecil, fair or foul? Kevin Stefanski gets his first win against the AFC East on Sunday.
It's fair, and I'm gonna tell you why it's fair. Because as bad and frustrating the Cleveland Browns have been on, especially on the offense side of the football, Miami has matched each and everything. They have matched everything from Tua talking in the media last week to McDaniel and just the woes going on there. I think it's fair. I think the opportunity will be there to win. I think your defense will keep you in the game. Tua has been a turnover machine. 3 picks last week, multiple picks the other few weeks. Tyreek Hill is out for the season, if I'm not mistaken. Achane's the real deal. Now, Devin Achane's the real deal. We got to slow down him some type of way as far as the Browns defense. But I think you have a shot, a true shot. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a good game at getting his first win against an AFC East opponent. That's crazy to say. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy to say, man. And the fact that, first of all, I couldn't really believe that, he had never beaten anybody from the East. And then when I looked at his overall record, he is 11-11 versus the North. He's 11-0 versus the South. If we play the AFC South every single week, man, the Browns will be in there. He's 1-6 against the AFC West, and he's 0-6 against the AFC East. And that's something that just makes you shake your head even further, because two of the best teams in the AFC in total play in those divisions when you think about the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. So how in the hell are the Cleveland Browns going to ever get over the hump if he can't beat those teams that play in said divisions? I'm going to go foul on this one for a couple reasons. I understand the Miami Dolphins is just as bad or even more horrific than what the Cleveland Browns are, but this team lacks discipline, and this team can't even put 20 points on the board. The Dolphins is bad, and at least they can score at least 20 points.
They can't score.
We in a situation here, man, to where getting past 17 is a struggle, and we can't even have success on a single play without being penalized 10 or 15 yards that put us behind the sticks. So because of the lack of scoring and the lack of discipline, I'm going to go ahead and say foul on that. You up.
Okay. All right. So, number 2. So the average NFL points per game for the offenses in the NFL are 23.1.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns average, as you mentioned, 13.7. No 20-point games since December 2nd of 2024. So historic lows. So fair or foul, the Browns will finally put up 20 points this Sunday against the Miami Dolphins.
I got to go foul, and I'm going to go foul every single week until I see them do it. I just don't have no faith in this offensive scheme right now. I don't have no faith in the execution of it. I don't even have no faith in the offense to be disciplined enough to not get penalty yards to put you behind the sticks when you do get a big play or scoring play. I just don't think too much of the offense right now, quite frankly. They can't stay on the field. Kevin Stefanski talked about that himself. This offense is struggling to stay on the field. When they are on the field, they can't put points on the board. And to me, I get it. You going up against a Dolphins team that you should be able to handle a little bit. You at home, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have a crowd behind you, but it's been uninspiring. And I don't see this team scoring 20 points anytime soon, sad but true.
So this is tricky for me because I think the Dolphins, Tua is really struggling, but I do think that offense is still very explosive. And I'm with you. So I'm going to go foul. I'm with you. I don't think the Browns offense would do anything this week or in future weeks until they make some changes there. I do think the Browns score under 20 points. And even with, I think they get a few turnovers. Even with that, I just don't see them scoring over 20 this week. I think it's going to be a struggle. And once again, I think we may go 0-7 under Stefanski as far as the AFC East.
Hey, this is going to sound crazy, but which unit you think puts the most points up on the board this week for the Browns?
I was about to say that.
The defense, the special teams, or the offense?
Defense and special teams are going to come up with some type of points. Not going to be the offense, right? If you do win, it's going to be because of field goals and maybe a pick six or a fumble or something like that. Those are going to be the reason. Maybe even a punt return or a kick return, right? But those would be the reasons you get your points and go over 20 if you do.
It's going to be crazy, man. Let's switch it over to the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. Again, Cavs season start next week. NBA season start next week. I think a lot of people here in the city of Cleveland is excited because we know what our basketball team is capable of. Just to see some hoops again, man, that's a fun time of year. This one right here centered around one Evan Mobley. So Evan has averaged 15 points a game and 9 rebounds a game in 3 of his 4 seasons at least, right? Last season, he averaged 18 and a half and 9.3 rebounds a game. Now, he's never averaged a double-double in his NBA career. So, fair or foul, Evan Mobley will average a double-double this season for the first time in his career.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's an easy one, Earl. I think he'll continue to ascend. I think he said, 18 and 9 last year?
Yeah.
And with him being, I would say, more of a centerpiece this year, more of a larger role for him, I think everybody, the fans, the players are, and I think Donovan Mitchell said it. Like, he came out and said, we need more from him. Like, he has to step up and have that confidence to go out there and be the dog that we know he can be. And with him having a good year last year, I think this will be the year he goes a double-double. Now, I think it'll be somewhere in the 22 range and 10. I think he'll really kind of explode and really get on the scene even more this year because honestly, as a Cavs fan, we need him to. But I think he's going to continue to ascend and just get better.
I got to project it at around 24 and 11. If I'm being real with you, I think that points a game is going to go up significantly this year for a few reasons. One, you just alluded to. Anybody and everybody inside the Cleveland Cavaliers organization has said out loud that this team goes as far as Evan Mobley takes us. And when you look at his development through his first 4 seasons in the NBA, he has taken tremendous leaps and bounds every single year. You got some people, former NBA players, who believe that he can be an MVP candidate this year. I've actually put my eyes on him. Like, he looks in better shape. The footwork looks better. But I've heard also from afar that his mentality and the maturity of wanting to be the leader and the best player overall in the NBA is there, and he's hungry. And I believe, like, with a guy like Darius Garland, who's going to miss the first part of the season, and with a healthy Lonzo Ball, Lonzo is more of a facilitator when he's out there. And I think that Evan Mobley's usage rate is going to go up a little bit because I think guys like Lonzo Ball is going to make sure that he eat. And I think that you're going to also see him in some situations to where he's just a big-ass point guard. He's a point forward, bringing the ball up the court, being able to hit more than just a corner 3-point shot. Mike Lucas said it best. If there's any Evan Mobley stock out there, go buy it. And I couldn't agree with that more. I'm going fair, and I got him at 24 and 11 for the season.
Man, I keep forgetting Lonzo Ball is there. And I think people don't realize how good of a point guard, a total point guard he is. Like, when he's in the game, you just mentioned it, he's facilitating. He's, what I say, run the show.
He had 9 dimes last night.
Like, he is like, I mean, he loves to pass. I mean, even at UCLA, no matter where he was, his mind says, I'm going to get my best players the ball. That's what makes him so good, in my opinion. That's why I love him as a point guard. And I couldn't agree with that point more. When he's in the game, he's going to be feeding his guys. And one of the guys that's going to benefit from that is going to be Evan Mobley. All right. Number 4, last but not least, I think FanDuel has the odds at plus 650 for the Cavs to win the title this season. As of we all know, last year they were bouncing the second round, kind of really let down last year after a really, really big regular season. So, fair or foul, the Cavaliers will reach the NBA Finals this season, Earl.
Here's that Clevelander emotional Cavs fan tape. Hell yeah, it's fair. We're going to make it to the NBA Finals. And guess what? We're going to win it. I'm calling my shot right here on October 15th, 2025, that in June, the Cleveland Cavaliers will be NBA champions. Listen, man, me and you are both spiritually grounded. Me and you both know what it's like to get it out the mud. And me and you knows pretty much what that grind look like. The whole humility before honor comes into play. The whole you got to crawl before you walk and you got to walk before you run coming into play. This is a team that's been together for quite some time now. They have experienced some highs together, some lows together. They have experienced a lot of disappointment together. They have had to overcome adversity. And what I realized is they didn't mentally break. Instead, they got into their bag and they used that pain, that failure, and that disappointment as a motivational key to be even better, to work even harder, etc. When I listen to Kenny Atkinson talk about how this past offseason was about building relationships on and off the court, or where I hear Donovan Mitchell talk about these young guys that, have put in the work that the world might not know of, but come the NBA season, that they'll get a glimpse of what they've done. Guys like Jalen Tyson, who was a rookie last year, or this year's rookie Proctor, who Spider said has that it factor, right? And when you talk about just the improved conditioning and the tweaks that's been made to the roster that complement the core guys more, I just think all of that is a recipe for the Cavs to go chase the NBA title. And yeah, I know most people might watch this and say, well, let's just focus on making it out the second round first. But I don't think that'll be an issue this year. I think the Cavs are going to do a good job of controlling what they can control. And I don't know if it's going to look the same, bro, when it comes to wins and losses. But as far as style of play and quality of play, I believe the Cleveland Cavaliers got an opportunity to be better this year than they were last year.
I could care less about being the best, having the best record, having whatever. I just want to go deep in the playoffs, get to the NBA Finals, and win that chip again. That's all I care about. That's the fan in me that comes out, right? Yeah. Like, hey, who cares about best record of the season? Let's go play ball. Let's be a team to stay healthy. Let's go out there and do it. I'm with you with the fair. I think the East will be a tad bit easier, just being honest, with Tyrese and Tatum having what they had. But you still got to go out there and do it. There's ballers all around. The Knicks will be good again this year. The 76ers, if they can stay healthy, they'll make some noise. But with the pieces we added and what you just mentioned, I'm going to say fair, and I do think they get to the NBA Finals and make some noise this year.
Y'all let us know what y'all think, man. Fair or foul? The Cleveland Cavaliers making it to the NBA Finals this year. And are you like me? Do you believe they're going to bring it home, man? We got to take a quick break here from our other sponsor. And then we wrap up the show. But again, don't forget, y'all, man, subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on YouTube. You can use that QR code right there to do so. Just put your phone up to it. Boom. Click on the link, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell. Ringing that bell will give you an alert for every time the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show goes live or one of the spinoff shows goes live, like the Ultimate 216 Show, the Ultimate Cavs, the Ultimate Guardians, the Ultimate Browns, as well as the Ultimate Buckeye. So again, use that QR code right there so you can subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. And Cecil, let the audience know about Mally's chocolates right before we get to Sweetest Day.
The holidays are right around the corner, and nothing says celebration like the perfect sweet treat. So let's be real. Finding that go-to gift or special indulgence for yourself can be overwhelming. Between generic options and mass produce candy that just doesn't hit the same, it's easy to settle for something less when all you want is something truly special. That's where Molly's chocolate comes in. Cleveland's favorite chocolatier since 1935. This year, they're celebrating 90 years of making Northeast Ohio sweet moments even sweeter. I love that they have that Cleveland tradition for 90 plus years. It's the real deal and not some chain. Offers, celebrate 90 years of Cleveland's sweetest traditions with Mally's Chocolates. Visit one of their 18 Northeast Ohio locations or shop online at malleys.com. That's MALLEYS.com. Taste the tradition and taste Mally's.
There it is. Shout out to Mally's Chocolate. Hey, real quick before we close out this segment, you from here, we know Sweetest Day is a Midwest holiday. When you first touched down in Houston or in Florida and you brought up Sweetest Day, did people look at you like you was crazy?
Like I had no sense. They don't talk about it here. Like I totally forgot about it until you mentioned it. Like we don't talk about it here. We don't celebrate it here. It's just not a thing in the South for whatever the reason, right?
Can't get caught lacking in Cleveland though. That's the truth.
Nah. And I'm married to a woman from Cleveland, so she still keep up.
She said, I don't care if we in Houston or not. You know where we from, man. So to wrap up the show, man, we're gonna give y'all the pulse of the city as we go around town. And y'all know what we do in this segment, man. We find 3 talking points, man. 1 entertainment, 1 culture, and 1 sports related. Just to wrap up the show, we do some quick hits and we get some thoughts on it. Here's the first story I found that I thought was pretty cool. This one for the West Siders. We don't do too much for the West Siders on this show, but this one right here for the West Siders. So in the Clark and Fulton area, right, they got something called the Clark Fulton Art Garden Project. An artist named by the Ariel Vargas is leading a 10 mural plus 3 sculpture project that the city put 400,000 up to, help fund this program. And its focuses on mentorship and community identity. And I
Okay.
thought this was cool because, you know, we spent a lot of time arguing about domes and how much the city is putting towards this, that, and the third. But this looks like the city of Cleveland investing in us as people and giving us an opportunity to unlock that next level of creativity that we might have.
Yeah, I love that. I love murals. I love art. I love sculptures, and anything you can do to make this city more unique and more beautiful. I'm all for it. I think art like this brings us together, and it makes the city, like we talked about, this being unique and something you can come visit and check out, and something for tourists to see. So I absolutely love it. And I love the focus on the mentorship that you mentioned. I think you said community identity.
Yeah.
Um, so that's big, man. That's pretty cool. Shout out to the West Side.
All right, yeah, of course, man. We got to get some something sports related in there. So, $100 million settlement was met between the city and the Cleveland Browns, clearing the way for the new Brook Park
Big,
Dome,
big.
which is 2.4 billion in plans. The agreement that they reached, it seemed like that they could have got here long before now. But the city the Haslam are going to be paying the city of Cleveland a substantial amount of money over the course of a 4 or 5 year period, and it'll help close down the current stadium. They are going to be investing also in the renovation projects that's going to take place on the lakefront, et cetera. And so it seems like that this drama of this story is officially coming to a close. And for me personally, I'm excited to see what a revitalized lakefront can look like in the city of Cleveland. I'm excited to see what a rejuvenated downtown looks like. And I think that the one thing about this that I really appreciate is the Haslam's making this move. I know it's going to upset a lot of people, but you are also forcing the people that's in charge of running this city to be a bit more innovative than what they are. And shout out to Mayor Bibb. I think he's done a phenomenal job in certain areas, but the mayor's the same age as you and I.
Mhm.
And we have an expectation of three men that's born in the 80s of, okay, show me that you can think outside the box. Like, let's not be this traditionalist. Let's not, because that don't really always get the job done. So I'm glad that that is finally coming to an end. And finally, man, our last story of the day. I hate to end it on a sad note, but we're gonna look at it as we paying homage and paying tribute to a neo soul legend that you and I grew up loving and listening to, that we heard our parents listening to. You know the news by now. The singer that we know affectionately as D'Angelo passed away yesterday at 51 years old after a battle with cancer. Before we even get into it, we and you are approaching that age to where, like, as men, we need to make sure that we get those cancer screenings so that we can get out ahead of things and be here for a long period of time to just be around our families, our loved ones, raise our kids up, our grandkids when we have those one day, and just increase our lifespan as much as we can. 51 and dead shouldn't even be in the same sentence. And I think about his son who lost his mother earlier this year, the famous Angie Stone. And it's tough on him. This is a young man who lost both his parents within a 7-month time span. So we will definitely be sending prayers up to him for his mental and emotional well-being. But when you heard this news, man, what was your initial thoughts yesterday?
51's too soon. 51's too soon. Tons of hits, tons of quality music. His music brought a peaceful feeling. It brought love. It brought a certain vibe that just made you relax and really appreciate the people around you. And I'm grateful for that and the time he put in for that. And he was great at his craft. But 51, man, it's just sad. And
Yeah.
death, as you get older, death hits you differently. You appreciate life more. You appreciate the people around you more. And anytime somebody that I feel like had an impact on my life, whether near or far, it just
Mhm.
hurts. It just hurts. And it's sad to see. And like you said, we're going to be praying for the family, praying for the son. I didn't realize that time span was so quick. 7 months is no joke, man. To lose any parent, anybody close to you is hard enough. But to lose parents within 7 months is very difficult.
Man, my favorite song by D'Angelo is Lady. Like that's my jam. You know, you turn that on, get the glass of wine, and it just got this vibe to it, man. I think about songs like Cruising, how in our city, man, like when you at the parks, Gordon Park, you know what I'm saying, down on 55th or wherever you at, or at your family cookout, Cruising was one of those songs that was on the playlist when you, especially when you was with the old school cast and just vibing out. But you know, I appreciate neo soul artists, guys like D'Angelo, guys like Anthony Hamilton, guys like Maxwell, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Man, they bring a different type of vibe and a different type of tone. And the one thing about when you are an artist like that and you have an impact like that, those songs that we enjoy, man, they gonna outlive us, our children, etc. So, you know, instead of mourning, man, we just wanted to pay tribute and tell D'Angelo, man, thank you for being a part of our childhood. Thank you for being a part of our maturation process. We all know for some of us, man, music touched the soul a little bit different. And he was one of those artists that had the ability to hit that soul a little bit different. So rest in peace, man, to a king, to a legend, and to somebody that we will respect it. We thank y'all for joining us for another episode of the Ultimate 216 Show. Your boy is back. Catch us next Wednesday, 5 p.m. with another fresh episode. Until then, man, y'all remember, be great and spread love. Remember, being great comes with a price, but spreading love, I promise you, that thing there, that thing is priceless. Till next week, man, we out. Love y'all. Peace.